Well, part 4 of the state capture report has been released. It deals with 6 issues, including the Free State housing and asbestos scandals. So let's take you back. In 2014, 2 companies were contracted to assess and remove asbestos from houses in the province. The contracts were valued at 255 million rand, but very little of that work was done. Former Free State Premier Mxolisi is implicated in the case. Cooperative Governance MEC Mxolisi Dukwana gave crucial evidence at the state capture inquiry into this, and he joins us now for some reflection. MEC, thank you so much for your time this morning. We've got part 4 of the state capture report that is now finally out. Various individuals that have been implicated in that, highlighting even the very same asbestos scandals. As we reflect on this report, is there a form of vindication on your part from what you testified to at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry? At this moment in time, do you feel that there's some kind of justice, or South Africa is finally awakened to the levels of corruption that we were confronted with?
Good morning. I think it's more than a vindication on my side. It's actually a vindication on the side of those who suffered this injustice, and I think it's a correct summation of this fact that South Africans are now becoming aware of a lot of atrocities that actually happened, and the malfeasance that that South Africa finds itself in.
Yeah. You know, it's also very interesting to note that the state capture report as well hardly makes any form of recommendations to already obviously Mxolisi in this matter. In fact, not even saying, I mean, obviously the former premier was actually facing corruption, fraud, theft and money laundering charges alongside the 15 co-accused currently in court. Is that a disappointment on your part, the fact that there not really much of a recommendations being made on his part, especially with the testimony that came out from your end to the State Capture Commission? I mean, I think at some point he was referred to as somebody who was a blesser.
I think if you read it properly, you will find that at the end of it all, it demonstrates lack of leadership on his part and failure to exercise his authority, and that is damning enough. It might not have gone at length to make recommendations against him as a person, but it has demonstrated the kind of leadership he actually exercised during the time he was given that responsibility.
Yeah. You know, as we're reflecting on this one as well, I mean, given where, the matters and how stale it went, obviously, as you were giving testimony to this, is there any way and any form of justice at this point, from the point of recouping the monies, from the point of giving those that were affected by the very same asbestos some kind of indication as to when matters will be fixed? Because are we naive to think that corruption has been completely rooted out in the Free State and now it's everybody start anew?
No, I think this is just the beginning. It's something that is facing all of us as South Africans, especially to look at our value system as a country and as a people. And once we begin that journey, it will make it very difficult for those who believe that it is correct to actually take part in matters that are actually very corrupt. People would avoid that. As long as we have a society in many instances that seems to be accepting that you've got some of these people, and in some quotas they would be seen as heroes when actually they should be regarded as individuals who are very corrupt and antisocial in their behavior, and should actually be exposed and be shamed at all times wherever they are. But you find some of these are treated as heroes in some quotas because some of the people don't realize the damage that these have caused to other people.
Yeah, and what would you say, and I want to labor on this point where you say that some of these people are being treated as heroes. In this case, it would be, for example, political figures that are regarded as heroes. Is it because society is naive, or is it because it is so entrenched in corruption and it's almost a reflection of the political party and the participation of its members thereof that we're finding itself in this point? I mean, why would somebody be praised and glorified from stealing from the very same country that they're living in and are going to seek resources from?
You can say that. That's why I'm saying you need to look at it as a societal problem. You would have criminals who would go out and rob a bank, but they would be seen as heroes in some quarters in their communities. And this, as you say, I'm just making that example to illustrate that it is not only a political problem, but it is a societal problem. And it is just brought to light because these people have positions of power and they use these positions of power and it exposes the ill that is in our society with people who are given authority, and it becomes more clearer for us that we are actually a sick society and we need to face this reality and deal with it. Up until we really deal with this, it is not going to be easy for any person to fight this corruption in our society.
MBC, I want us just to look back in terms of also some of those developing stories that have been happening, especially within the past week or so. And I want to bring to your attention the issue of the Mafube municipality. I do know that the Free State High Court, for example, has ruled that the Premier Ntombela is obligated to place the embattled local municipality, of course, under compulsory administration, citing issues around water infrastructure, a financial recovery plan, as well as neglected sewage infrastructure and the like. Your take on this? I mean, is that also a reflection of a lack of leadership that is further exacerbated by a lack of resources and a lack of direction going forward?
All these issues combined actually are creating these problems that we are actually outlining here. If you check the case of Mafube, and other municipalities in the Free State, and I think in many other provinces, they bring to light what we're using to resource this, the formula used to fund these municipalities. In the case of Mafube, for instance, once you, as a municipality, a decision that was taken way back that allowed a company to run the electricity of the municipality and actually everything that deals with reticulation, everything, which actually is the basis of the revenue of that municipality. And it's run by a private company, and municipality is not getting anything. And it is unable now to have resources that will fund their own budget. You get this kind of a problem. And as I'm saying, decisions that we take have an impact on the future generation and future of those who will be coming in the leadership. We've got some capable people who are now in the leadership, young people, but they are hamstrung by decisions that were taken many years ago. And I think we need really to look into this. Sometimes the intervention that people talk about are not helping. We have had interventions in the province, and they have not actually yielded good results.
Yeah.
And I think
but why is that, MEC? I must just labor on that point. Why is that it seems as though the province keeps tripping on its stuff? Is it tripping on itself because, unfortunately, you know, you've got one leader that is implicated in state capture. They've got the asbestos scandal that is currently underway, facing court charges and corruption charges at this moment in time. You then have the next premier, and it would seem as though nothing is any different. So does that mean that the actual province has got a crisis of leadership where we have to question the integrity of those that are in power?
For the longest of time in the province, you had a system that was corrupt, a network of patronage that was established over a very long time, and it stripped the all the institutions, of their ability to be effective and efficient, and allowed rogue elements to actually reign during that period. Once you remove accountability, once you weaken structures and you allow the network of patronage that existed to actually take control, it ran the municipalities down, it ran most of the departments down, and you're now having to rebuild these structures. And it is clear for everybody that our municipalities were actually run poorly, and this is the challenge that is faced by the current leadership of these municipalities.
Well, before I let you go, the MEC, we are currently commemorating May Day, or as we would know it, Workers' Day, with an unemployment rate that is sitting at almost 50% if you have to look at the expanded figures in the South African context. Your reflection?
I think we really need to look into this matter and create, and actually as a country, develop entrepreneurial skills and allow our own people to actually see opportunities and take them. Because if you think, SMMEs would make a serious dent on our unemployment. But if we think that all of them would be employed, I think it's not possible in the current state of our economy. So I think this is something that needs, determined leadership and visionary leadership to drive. And I think we get in there, and it only needs commitment from all others to make sure that we change our education system to speak to the realities that we are facing and the training that we give to our young people.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do we have that visionary leadership in the current context of this country?
I think we do. But the situation, as I said, you had a parasitic system that was eating all these institutions down, and with leadership or people who were only interested in serving themselves instead of serving our society. And dealing with this crisis is going to take longer, but it needs determination. And I think many of us are determined to make sure that we get out of this situation and reverse all these ills that have been committed in the past. And together, working with the people and allowing these people not to be passive recipients of these services, but being actively involved, actually would ensure that there is accountability, there is usage of funds. And once we look into infrastructure and make sure that there is social value that is created by any infrastructure that we take, we create, then you'll see some well-being, some change in the well-being of our society.
We'll leave it there. Mxolisi Dukwana, thanks for your time.